This is not in no particular order, but these are the ones I listen to, and I know they're really good. Extra Gravy, We Love Hip Hop, Voices from the Staircase, Relentless Diaries. What's that other one? The Nympho Diaries.
No. Sounds nice.
Obviously Blizzard Boys. What other Toronto podcasts? There's a lot that I might be missing out, and I'm sorry if I'm missing out any. Oh, shout out to all you guys, because it's a big investment to invest into a space, invest into equipment, marketing, merch, whatever you guys do, promotion, whatever you guys do to get where you are. So big up yourself, big up the other ones that were doing their thing. I think they're still doing their thing, like True North Views, like, was it Food and Liquor back in the day, SI Podcasts. A lot of podcasts came and went, shout out to them. But like, it buns me when I see the Ontario, like, people are still freezing outside. Yes, people are still freezing outside. Homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people outside.
I was going to ask
that are not from a particular island. Just saying,
I was going to say, just backtrack a little.
When actually born in Canada. Just letting you know.
I was going to say, and when you were downtown Vancouver, did you see homeless people in downtown Vancouver? And if you did, was it the same amount as Toronto? Or it's just like, it seems like past the green line, it's just like, yo.
It wasn't, like, there was homeless people, but, like, it wasn't, like, it was not much. But that's the thing, I've only been there for just a week.
For a week, yeah.
So it's not like, and the weather's different, so it's not like you're seeing them at the vents, you're not seeing them in, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen, like, certain things, but, like, it's not, like, enough to be, like...
Noticeable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, back to present time.
Yes. So when I see all these things, when people are actually like trying to work and get it together and grind and be successful in this, We Are Too and all these other podcasts, we're all trying to, make a platform and do something where maybe we can all profit and get some money out of this and be successful financially, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a what is it? What's his name? What's the mayor? John Tory thing. I don't know if this is a part of the funding. I don't know what it was. But when you find out that 24 Shades of Blue, which is a police, the boy them, Babylon podcast.
A Babylon podcast. Why did no one take that name? Babylon podcast.
They call, shout out Six Buzz, they call it the criticism of Toronto police invest over $330K in podcasts to avoid criticism of propaganda.
Propaganda.
That is new to me. Propaganda.
Sounds like an old mobster name.
The Blue Shield.
Not justice. The Blue Shield of Justice.
But according to this news report, Toronto police. Oh, this thing just popped up on nowhere. Toronto police are facing criticism for spending more than $300,000 of the taxpayers' money on a podcast with a limited audience.
Wait. Did you say taxpayers' money?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
See, that is what caught me.
Yeah.
It's tax-free, yeah.
$300,000, yeah.
So when the 50 million thing happened, it's not coming out of... No, it's coming out of taxpayers.
Yeah. You see, the tax that we're going to do this month.
Most of the time, it's out of taxpayers. It's not really...
Yeah. The Babylon I get.
Continue.
The podcast 24 Shades of Blue was produced by a third-party company, and its objective was to offer an in-depth look at policing that takes more time than traditional media outlets can provide.
That's
However, documents obtained by CBC Toronto show the podcast creation was a sole source deal. Initially worth some $90,000, despite the pilot season limited reach, with most videos only attracting hundreds of views. Former Chief James Ramner still signed off of a 3-year extension worth $247,800.
That's okay. Full stop. So that's 90,000, like, to pay them to be there.
90,000 to say, yeah, we're making a TV show. It's like, oh, people are not watching TV anymore, especially on CBC. So what do we do now?
Bad boys.
Well, shout out
bad
CBC
boys.
Gems and all the black creators on there. But
That's
what cops? Huh, bad boy. That would be hilarious. Toronto cops.
Bad boys.
Because I watch what's it called, Border Security.
right.
That it's pretty lit. It's okay. It's an okay show because you see what's going on with border control. I like that episode when they tried the Jamaican the one time, and he called them. They kind of was like, "Yo, just search your sitting and go about your business." Like, so why are you going to Jamaica? You're having a fun time. Just do your job. And then it's one of those things. Just telling, do your job and stop talking to me. And
Like stuff like
but you could see that they're like, oh, he's being quite aggressive, so we're gonna do some more investigations to, make sure he's, going to do what he says he's gonna do. I don't really understand what he was saying, so, just
That's so funny.
But anyway.
But I mean, that's interesting because obviously you would want to see what people would try to bring into a country or what is and is not acceptable in a country, period. Right? So that's interesting because you learn something. You got to take away.
90,000 at first and 247,000.
That's fine. Border security. Because I didn't even know they had like truck border security and they weighed I didn't know that, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But how do drugs come into the community? I mean, if they weigh it,
that's a whole different story.
and if, it should accurately get them, right, guys? Right? No?
I would, you know what? Let's
that's the assumption.
But
how do
guns get into the country?
I guess they'll find it out with the other 50 mil that they'll give you an answer with the other 50 mil taxpayers' money that they're investing into police force.
Into police, yeah, for Toronto. Yeah.
But at the same time, a podcast where I guess
we're gonna hear about cases.
Or I don't know if it's cases.
See, that would be at least interesting.
No, it wouldn't be.
No, but they have them on like
when they do cold cases.
Cold cases, and like the A&E channel.
Yeah, they do shows on that.
It's called 24 Shades of Blue, the Toronto Police Podcast.
But when it mentioned propaganda, I was like, okay, that's.
So it's trying to change the way people see or perceive the cops.
This is all an alleged podcast. This is all alleged. So you can't come after this.
That's what I'm gathering. It's like, oh, they're talking about the cops in a very negative way. There's a lot of stigmatism. There's a lot of these things. We need to change the optics and the way that the public views us as an institution and as individuals and as, community players within our community. We got to change that.
Which, okay, so far, not gonna lie, that's okay. So far,
it's okay. Yeah.
That's an idea.
But I mean, are you doing your job?
There's that. Right? Yeah.
Got to change the tone when you say that. It's like, but are you doing your job?
Yeah.
You don't need $300,000 to do that, though.
That's an ill price.
Is it doing really is?
I wonder if I can.
I gotta question that one because
I gotta question what cameras you use with that money, the space,
right? Who the production team? Because honestly, I would want the production team to get paid. I would. This is me coming from a photography background. I mean, if I'm gonna make a situation where I'm gonna actually change the way that people perceive you guys, you need to pay me.
I mean,
and especially since the arts specifically and broadcasting in Canada also doesn't seem to get their flowers, you better get paid. I think you should get paid. So on that note, yes. But what are the other expenses inside this whole podcast?
I feel like, to be honest,
I think they have too much time on their hand. But
that's one.
That's yeah.
Two. I feel like they have.
I thought you guys were on the TTC.
But I feel like they have.
Someone got spit on the other day again. Someone was walking back and forth with a rolled in blunt, screaming, "Open the door!" Just
it's still just going.
Open the door! Guys walking back and forth, like just fast walking, like
there is no way.
Trying to pry the door open, like, yo, relax, dog. Like it's a delay right now.
The way I see it, like, how much money? Like that much? $300,000.
Because it says seasons, so it's probably.
But I mean that's.
But there has to be some type of return. Like it's one of those things that like they have 90,000, right?
For the what is
for
it? For
100 of views, no one cares. No one cares.
Right.
It's the way you said that. No one cares.
No, it's the boy them. It's the police. The police.
No one cares.
You know what I mean? The Babylon. It's like, you really want to know what Babylon do? We watch Cops. It was Cops already. We saw Cops. There's Live PD.
There's First 48.
Podcast.
There's Live PD.
This is different.
There's Law and Order, Blue Bloods.
Visual audio.
Those are fiction.
But they say, what do they say in Law and Order? Every time it starts, these scenes are, what is it?
Like classic sound.
Yes.
Cling, cling.
Hold
on, I gotta play that.
They're made off.
No, read it. I forgot what the start is.
Disclaimer.
The disclaimer. The Law and Order disclaimer.
They may seem like true events, but are a fiction.
Somebody in the police force is ratting these events.
Blah, blah, blah.
How long is this?
It's long.
Yeah, it's very long. You don't realize that voice is very soothing.
Okay, so yeah, although some of the aspects of the story may remind you of the Lisa Steinberg case recently adjusted in New York City, this is completely wrong. This is completely the wrong thing. But yeah, the following story is fictional and does not depict any actual person or event. Yeah.
Nah, I think it's more than that. Something. These are the cases.
Cling, 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 cling.
Yes.
Or something like that. Yes. But like, it doesn't add up the price. Like, it doesn't add up, and especially when people are struggling just to get studio time. They should be, with that type of money, you should have some podcast grants.
Honestly, when you're saying it now, like, and when you're saying like it doesn't add up, I actually think that's actually on the lower end.
Damn, they're okay. So
on the lower end of what?
Of like cost.
What the
90,000 for production? That seems a little low.
It probably is, but
the audio person, the editor, the PR.
Wait. You didn't even get to the money shot. Half of that has to be chopped off just for marketing alone. So now you have 45,000.
Exactly. So
yeah,
that doesn't seem like a very high budget podcast either.
Damn, they're on Apple, Spotify.
What I don't,
they're on YouTube.
I just don't understand the fact that it's just like it's one thing after the other. Like, as soon as this budget kick in that they're gonna give them a certain amount of money, they said, "Yo, 300,000. We're gonna drop a podcast mixtape next month."
But what's the content about though? I think that really does matter as well. I mean, as much as they're saying it's an in-depth view of what happens within the policing system, specifically in Toronto.
But they're not gonna talk the real.
But that's what I mean. They're changing the optics, the way that they come off. Like,
they're not gonna talk the real. That's one. They're not. There's no way these police are gonna give it up.
I mean,
so there's some kind of production quality for.
To me, it's kind of like, so are we gonna have now podcasts on all industries?
I don't. There kind of is.
There kind of is already.
But
sometimes it's interesting. I don't.
Government led though.
Like and that's the thing. Some people, I feel like they put their money together to do what they're doing.
Well, hold on, let's fix this a second. One of the things I wanted to get into as well. There we go. Hold on.
I feel like people put their money in to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? If you're making a pod, there's people that put their money together to like all these other people. They invest their time and money into the pod. Mm-hmm. We can't go to the government and say, "Yo, give us our money for our equipment, our marketing."
Yes, you can.
For our podcast,
we found.
Yes, you can.
No. We found it in grants. No, if
not in podcast grants. If they music grants, sure.
But like anything with radio or broadcasting, they're straight up like, nah, no radio, no podcasting.
For grants?
Yeah, they said nah. I read that.
Music.
They said
sure.
nah.
Music. I don't know. Maybe things change, but
competition.
Maybe
That's
and
wild.
maybe there is something out there, but so far I haven't heard about it. And to see all this money, and I don't know, hey, who knows?
Because so that's color grading. There's a production to it. Different shots.
How much views? How much views right
So
now?
this one in particular.
Because those people that have those dirty comments and disrespectful comments on
Oh,
CP24, Toronto Sun, all the stuff, they're probably watching this.
Whoa. So this was dropped 3 months ago. So it's been happening. 457 views.
All right.
6 likes.
There you have it. But anyway, like
It's on Toronto Police Service YouTube channel. But then if they have a channel, they also have like missing so the stuff that's important, like here, this person was missing from this time. This happened, like that part I understand, but like the like they have a whole list. Yeah. They don't have a number per se. It's just whatever, like co-founder and president. Okay, and then you have missing person, which is important, very important.
That's a YouTube though.
Yeah, but it's in the same. It's like it's not a separate YouTube. It's like it's in
cases.
Yeah, it's in the channel.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you have neighborhood community. You have gang prevention.
300,000 for that? 300,000
That's interesting.
for a podcast? That's not what they're saying it is here.
See, but it's the taxpayers' money for me.
That's the part where it's like, whoa, okay.
What in the like? I think that's the part where that is a step backwards in their step forward of trying to get into like people's like good pockets or good favors.
Right.
Because you're using my money to do podcasting. That's the part for me.
Well, let's see something.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, the pricing, all that doesn't make any sense to me. There probably is a reasonable thing, but I think it's not reasonable out the gate.
If the police could get a grant of that amount, we need to start opening grants to all podcasts then. And it should be eligible for us to now apply.
I mean, what do lawyers call that? Precedent? A judge would call that precedent?
Yes. A precedent.
I mean, you can argue it.
Yeah.
Like this episode, dropped a year ago, 1,000 views, no comments.
I mean...
I'll say this. When it comes to them type of sitting there,
the extension.
taxpayers' money is going into that. And I don't like that. And then plus, I just found out, I'm in BC and I'm hearing about these police stations. The police found a way to upgrade their license scanners. So they can catch you for minor infractions. Like, it's going to be, I guess, it's a quicker response time when you're on the highway. Covers more ground, I guess, allegedly, to license plates. So if you got tickets or you got situations you got to deal with,
Right.
they're on it.
So when you say minor, like give an example, like...
What a minor infraction is.
I don't know what that is. I guess you'll learn that in the podcast. But
No, but like...
But you should know that.
But like a minor...
like that's gonna affect your driving.
But like
or
a
your
minor, like...
insurance, you know,
maybe like a speeding, maybe like not like a speeding.
Like
Speeding is
doing
not
like speed over...
or like a suspended license. Suspended license.
at all. It's not.
Suspended driver's license.
That affects-
Suspended is a very big... If you're driving and it's
big
suspended,
deal.
that's...
Yeah.
That's a big...
Digital. Maybe it's just digital carding.
It could be that. I'm thinking of stuff like, you did a rolling stop.
Yeah, maybe that's the one.
No, they scan
like-
your license plate to see if there's anything on your license plate. To see like.
If you're associated with it,
I'm thinking probably if you
Or
didn't pay for your sticker.
Okay.
Even though you don't have to pay for
like-
your sticker, stuff
okay.
like that.
Yes.
Like, but like, man,
Like,
you know how
like
much money they're just gonna pick up? It's like, it seems like it's one of those things that they're building, like they got money to make more money.
yes, which is what you should do.
in general, you're supposed to do that.
I get that, but there's people that are freezing out here. Like for me, it's just the moral compass of people freezing out here.
I see. What you're saying.
I don't understand how, like, certain things I thought about. I'm like, why is therapy so much?
Hey, I'm...
Because it costs a lot.
I know, but why? Why is the government like? Why is the government?
It's just how it is,
like a lot of
it's
issues.
how you said it. Just
Like,
do you know how? Do you know how?
I know it's expensive.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying like, do you know how hard a therapist needs a therapist to unload?
ooh, that's like say that again. Most people
Yeah, like,
don't know that.
A therapist needs a therapist. After you hear a lot of these stories that people are going through, or the adversities or challenges or blockages or whatever it is that these people are going through, that's an emotional toll that you are literally becoming a storage of safe space.
You know what money? You know where I could see this money going into? Mental health. Because if you have the way I see it, when it comes to mental health and therapists and all that stuff, if you can pay and help people mentally, I think you would have a healthier environment. I would assume.
Yes,
that's how it works.
An economy, yeah. Or
Two, nursing, because obviously the medical field is chaos right now. Nursing, put some money in their pocket, especially people on the front lines and all that stuff, doctors, whatever. 3, I don't know.
More family doctors too.
I thought about dental for some reason. I think dental is a very important thing.
Yeah, because people don't realize if you get a disease in your gums, that goes straight to your brain, like quickly, because the roots they're right there.
There's certain things that like I get it. Therapy is gonna be expensive, and I know therapists need to be compensated. But like, if you really want a safer place, a lot of things are mental situations. A lot of things that people are going through are, tough situations that
are environmental, physical.
Right. So if you just change that and not enforce more things, you know what I mean?
Again, right.
You know what I mean? If there's people that are fighting to get to get their food, or robbing to get their food, or you should look into it, being like, okay, what's the cost of groceries right now? Why did they get higher?
I'll say artificial. Anytime the news breaks out like, this is going up by 5%, some people are just like, all right, well, I'm gonna up my thing 20%. I'm gonna up my thing 21.3%. I'm gonna up my thing 19.7%.
And then everybody's strung out on drugs because that will save their belly. Yes.
Whoa, that was actually dark and sad.
I never thought
basically,
about
if you do drugs, you suppress your appetite, and then you don't end up eating, and you just waste away into the gutter,
and then that's where the mental health starts.
Mental health is, and then you get spit on. But that was geez, we just explained the dark cycle. That was.
It's a reality though.
It's yeah.
At the end of the day, when it comes to that, I don't co-sign 300,000 going to police force for a podcast. I believe they should. If they want to do a podcast, they should struggle like everybody else struggles. That everybody else struggles to do a podcast. You need to struggle with the fact that no one listens sometimes. You gotta struggle with the marketing. You gotta struggle with finding out the equipment. And with your own money.
Doing it with your own money.
Doing your own money.
Go do the hours that you would pay, and then do your little overtime at your $30 an hour rate.
Go through the podcast struggle like everybody else did.
That's the podcast struggle. That was a funny.
Go through that. Like where it's like, oh gosh. Did you even press the record button? So we gotta start over?
Some people.
Why did the camera look like this the whole time the camera's off?
Okay.
Studio time? Studio rates.
You gotta trick
rates.
You gotta trick landlords and be like, we're not doing a podcast. Wink.
We're not.
And then all of a sudden now.
Promotion. Merch.
They catch you doing a podcast. They're like, hey, wait a minute.
Car's full.
Damn. Okay.
So it's like, that's the thing. Like, there's so much things you gotta put together.
Jeez. Okay.
Damn, and that's what I'm saying.
I don't have one right now either.
I guess. But yeah.
Ironically, we're just talking about it.
Yeah. Another podcast struggle. Like, cars being full mid-pod.
Right.
But,
your computer?
Yeah,
at the end of the day, they need to struggle like everybody else does, especially when I feel like it's kind of convenient for them to just be like, yeah, let's go to the government when not everybody has that opportunity to do so.
Right.
So there's that. Another thing, I know last week you guys talked about I keep hearing it, East Palestine. Were you guys talking about that?
So